it actually follows the plan a lot more closely. When the plan is done, it actually folds itself in. It's a lot easier now if you like stop and then try to restart the plan. Like that all works a lot better too. And it's just generally a lot smarter, right? So I think you'll notice that if you go in here, that it like listens to you better and is generally quite a bit smarter, right? So we had some stuff where like people were saying back test it for 30 days and it would just keep back testing for 7 days. So like it listens better for those types of things and like generally is a lot smarter when it comes to code. So there's a lot of really big improvements that have happened here, right? So here we're telling it to make a 200-day moving average strategy, right? And it's able to go through all these things pretty quickly, right? So it's opening strategy file, loading the skills that it needs to load. We also clean this up so you can see that the skills look a little nicer now. Before I thought they looked a little weird. And then when you scroll over them, it tells you a lot of details about exactly what's happening here. So if it's saying searching the web for 3 items, it'll tell you exactly what it looked for. So it's looking for here SPY market regime July for S&P 500, and then SPY recent catalyst for July, inflation, Fed earnings, market breadth, searching the VIX and all that kind of stuff. So whenever you're asking it to build a strategy, we have instructed it to first go off and do a bunch of research around the current market conditions, and then go off and load certain skills, and then build this thing for you. Right, so you see here that it was actually able to build that out. Um, there you go, and here it basically explains how it all works. Calculate the 200-day moving average. There's a nice image here showing what it does. We also added this stuff back. We used to have this before, but now we've added it back again where it says what changed in this revision and how your strategy works. Right? So how your strategy works, you can open it up and it's a really nice description of exactly what this thing's doing, right? So the BossBot strategy is a trend following system designed to trade SPY assets based on its relationship with a 200-day simple moving average. The strategy operates on a daily cadence, evaluating market conditions once per day to determine whether to enter or exit a position. And then entry and exit mechanics are governed by the following rules, right? And so you can like basically go into all this stuff. There's the entry, there's the exit, there's position sizing. So it goes through everything in a lot of detail. It's a very nice description of how it works. And we have something that's what's changed in the revision, which is usually a bit shorter. So if you're making small changes, it will do that and show you like exactly what has changed since the last revision. Right? So we actually have AI looking at the code once it's made and doing it from the code. So it should be pretty damn accurate. And then you can see here, it started a back test automatically. It's waiting for capacity. So we trained it to do that too. So whenever it creates a strategy, it automatically runs a 7-day back test. And we've really improved how it does the back test rescue part of it. This actually hasn't even been deployed yet, but even without all these changes that we made, it's already gotten a lot smarter. And it's going to get a heck of a lot smarter, like I said, hopefully by tonight, once we finish this thing up. Well, there you go. Also, a bit of a different layout here for when it back tests, right? So you can see bigger numbers. It kind of looks a little bit more like a Robinhood. Here are the results. We also added in this really cool replay button. This is a bit because we needed to make videos of this to show it off, but it is actually kind of a cool one to watch too. So if you hit replay, you can see kind of what it looks like when it's going through 27%. You can see the days changing and see it as it progresses, right? So you can kind of watch what happened, right? And then the final result, I think, is a little bit more clear now. Started at 100,000, ended at 100,048, and kind of makes it clear that it was $148. The indicators chart has gotten a lot better too. There was a bit of issues around this, so we made this thing work a lot better, especially for like longer back tests. It's the indicators chart works a lot better, especially like when we have multiple symbols. We've really improved it a lot. I think we can still do a little bit more here, but overall much better. And then at the bottom here, we now have we should have the sharpen Romad. I think I have this fixed on my computer, but I don't think it's been deployed yet. So there's those fixes too. So yeah, so generally you can see here, that was pretty quick. It got all that stuff done. It didn't really make any mistakes. If it did make a mistake, it's much better at fixing itself automatically. And then when the plan finished, it automatically hit itself, so it's not standing there in your way the whole time. Right? So generally, a lot smarter AI. A little bit prettier looking stuff, kind of easier to find everything. And just we did a lot of bug fixing around all this stuff too.
Yeah.
So a lot of improvements here. We also got Schwab to work well now too. Schwab is one of our latest brokers, so we've been doing a lot of testing with it, and it's finally
Oh,
starting to like really work well. So for anyone using Schwab, makes it quite a bit easier to do all that kind of stuff. Um, Funny, for some reason, I don't know why, but almost every single one of our customers that have joined us in the past few weeks has been a Schwab customer for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it is the biggest broker in the world,
yeah.
but somehow, I guess ChatGPT or Claude or whatever is recommending us for that.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So, yeah, so we got like this huge flood of Schwab people coming through the door.
Hmm.
And Schwab up until a few weeks ago we hadn't really used it that much, right? It's something that people use in our open source library. We've had around for a while, but it wasn't like battle tested. And oh boy, we've had a lot of chance to battle test it over the past few weeks. I can tell you that much. I've had customers doing the most crazy things, like people just going in, trading super fast and starting and stopping things. So it's like, yeah, our Schwab connection has gotten to be quite good, and we're going to
Hmm.
continue to make it even better. But like our Schwab connection has gotten to be quite good now, where like I'm getting really really confident that like even the craziest strategies can be handled with Schwab.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and just in general, it's easier to load your brokers too. So we have this whole broker connections thing. We've made it so that the account values automatically go into here, so you see how much money you have in each of your accounts at a glance, right? So it kind of makes that easier. You can see all your different connections. When you connect something, it automatically pulls all that stuff in. And then we're almost ready. Actually, Maurizio, you joined at the perfect time. I think the thing that we've been talking about with you, where we can analyze all the stuff with the broker, I think we'll have that ready by next week. We kind of have the basics of it. We're still going through testing, but one of our developers is actively working on your thing right now, Maurizio, where you can
Oh,
basically go into it and say, basically you could go in and say, tell me about Palantir with Bollinger Bands or something like that. You'll tell it to like do some analysis with technical indicators, display that, and then basically say, okay, place the trade, and it should be able to do that whole flow for you from the agent. So hopefully by next week we'll have that working and launched. So yeah, so we made a lot of improvements here, mainly around our AI has gotten a heck of a lot smarter, and connecting to brokers has become a lot easier, and is able to do more with all those broker connections. Right. So what
well,
do you guys think?
I really like the animation, the replay, because I actually did that on some of my things that just to try and get a visualization of how it's working on on the daily basis and or intraday and then overall, right? And it gives it's kind of impactful, I think. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's see if we do this on one that's a bit longer. Let's say this one here. So it's a two TQQQ SMA. The other one was I don't know why the chart data isn't loading. That's weird. Why is this not loading chart data? Let's say Alpha Pix. Does this have a back test? No chart data. I don't know why it's not loading that. That's weird. Maybe because these are older back tests. No chart data available. What the hell? Let me ask Codex about this 1 second, because I want to show you guys like a longer one. Um, can you please look into this? For some reason, I'm clicking on a bunch of different things in production and it's saying no chart data available. Why is that happening? Can you please explain what is going on there? It's for this strategy and a few others as well, that for some reason it doesn't load older chart data. And same thing with the indicators chart as well. For some reason it's not there. but it does show the total return and all those kinds of things. Yeah, that's weird. All of a sudden, this is no longer available. Let's see if we go with some different ones. Okay, there's one. So some of them are working and some of them are not. What is that? Yeah, so say something like this. So this one's a little bit of a longer one, right? We'll go replay, and you can like watch it as it like actually trades. It's kind of cool to watch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, but sometimes, what might make it look better is you know how long it's going to be, right? So don't have the X scale change right in time. Just have it, um, uh, just have the 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 trade values populate a fixed chart. If you understand what I mean? I think it looks a little bit better in terms of the animation because otherwise you're continuously compressing it, right, as the time goes on.
Yeah, I tried both. Like I
Oh,
think I know what you mean, right? Where
yeah,
this is like it just populates the chart, like so
right.
it'd be this long from the very beginning,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you kind of
right,
see as it come in.
right.
Yeah, so we tried both, and
Uh-huh.
the reason why I kept it as the one that's like basically expanding as it goes
Yeah,
is
uh-huh.
because then it looks more like and like and I don't know if this is the right for a product feature or not, but it was very good on video, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Where it actually looks like you're running this thing. You can kind of see it day by day what's happening,
Yeah,
right?
no, well, yeah, I understand. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it looks like it's actually replaying it, right? As opposed to, you're just seeing a simulation afterwards, right? Like it actually looks like that is what is happening currently, right? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think it might be a personal preference though. So,
Yeah, I mean, it
no,
might be. I mean, if
yeah.
that's the case, then we could actually change it up so that there's two different ways of doing it, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, if that's
Yeah,
something that you
exactly.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, just like different modes or settings or whatever, right?
Right.
It's like for Apple when they have the see-through stuff. People kept arguing about that, right? Like how see-through should it look, right?
Uh-huh, right.
I don't know if you followed that whole debacle.
Well, not really, but I understand yeah.
Yeah. So like on Apple, like do you have an iPhone?
No, I have Android.
Okay. Yeah. For some reason I thought you had Android, but yeah, it's on Apple, the new version that came out last year, they have this thing called liquid glass where you
Yeah,
can like see through components. And
right.
some people are saying it was like it's not see through enough, and some people are saying it's too see through, and people kept arguing about it. So like it's very unusual for Apple to give settings like this. It actually
Uh-huh.
allowed people to change,
Yeah,
do you want it more or less see through, right? So
yeah. Well, the Mac OS for the computer has that liquid glass and it has the same thing. So yeah,
yeah,
I know about that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so a lot of improvements to our AI. So if you go into our AI and start messing with it, I think you'll see that it works a lot better. We've done a lot of like stability improvements. We've made it a lot easier to link your brokers. We now support Schwab, right? So for anyone that wants to use Schwab, right, we've made it a heck of a lot better. I'm actually going to be running a bunch of money through Schwab too. I have around $100,000 that I'm going to start controlling with Schwab. So I'm
Hmm.
gonna hook that up sometime soon, and you guys can watch as my accounts grow or shrink. Um, but what I did was I have one of my accounts and one of my wife's accounts, and I actually opened up a bunch of new Schwab accounts. So now we're gonna take what we have, divide it up into a bunch of like little mini accounts, and then just like run a different strategy in each one.
Yeah.
So we'll have all that going. So yeah, so a lot of improvements
So
across the board, especially with when it comes to connecting brokers or with our AI.
Schwab uses our API to trade? I wasn't
Yeah,
aware of that.
yeah. You can connect your Schwab. It's actually very easy to connect Schwab. So if you go into account settings, right, you go broker connections, right? It's like super simple. You'll go add broker connection, then you'll pick which broker you want to
Okay.
use. In this
Nice.
case, Schwab, right? And then with Schwab, you could only do real money. With other brokers, you could choose paper trading or real money, but Schwab only real money. That's why we haven't had a chance to test it as much in the past.
Hmm.
But yeah, with Schwab, you have to go straight to real money. Um, if you want to use paper trading, you'd have to use like Alpaca or something like that to paper trade first, right? And then you authorize, click sign up with Schwab, and then it takes you to a page like this where you do your login, right? Here's my Schwab login. I'll log in. Right? And then you do the approvals, continue, right? And then basically that's it. Schwab done, and then everything gets connected and we're all good to go.
That's good. I might have to move some money there then.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of people coming from Schwab. Like I guess it makes sense. I mean, Schwab is, I think, the biggest retail broker on earth. Right? Like Fidelity has more money than them, but Fidelity manages like a lot of 401ks and stuff like that. So I think the majority of their money comes from that. But when it comes to like retail trading, I think Schwab is by far the biggest on earth. So we're getting a ton of people coming through there, and we've finally been able to support them. We make it really easy to connect to Schwab. So, definitely go check it out. And like I said, I'm going to be running $100,000 of my own money through this over the next couple weeks. So you can watch me do that, right? And yeah, that's where we're at here. Yeah, and then we made Tradier connections a lot easier too. So if you have a Tradier account, it's the same thing. You just connect here, Tradier, right? You could do a broker sign in or you could do API keys, right? They now both work. Right? And you could do, I think with broker sign in, you could only do live account, but if you want to do paper trading, you could do API keys and do paper trading with them. And then same thing, authorize, sign in, and then I log in here, sign in, approve access, and that's basically it. Right? And there you go. I have Tradier connected. You can see here, I have one account with 4,000 and 2.4 thousand in cash. This one I have 4 grand in it. I guess that's kind of the same there. Yeah, this one's got 5 grand in it. This one's got 10 grand. I want to see if this one actually started trading properly. So I moved more money into my Alpha Picks strategy. So this should be actually I guess 10 grand is still sitting in some cash. So hopefully it buys more soon. But this is my Alpha Picks. I have 10 grand in there. It's been doing really well. That have a couple other trader accounts. So it just makes it so much easier to understand like how much money do you have in each one, what's going on with it, and like when you actually deploy this stuff, it's just making it a lot simpler to understand what's happening. And now that we have this whole mechanism set up, now we could do all the really fun stuff. Like all that stuff now becomes possible where we can just like directly place trades through your brokers. We could analyze your positions using our AI. That's not currently available yet, but should be within the next week, where you'll be able to just like literally say, tell me about what I own at this broker. What do you think about this? Should I sell this? Should I sell that? Or should I buy something else? I could actually do the trades for you, right? So yeah, it's going to be very, very cool. And then we're going to have something that we already have something that monitors your account on a daily basis, just like checks in and does like a snapshot. So you have like a historical snapshot of your broker. But what that's also going to allow us to do is to give you like warnings and stuff. Like for example, this war just picked back up again in Iran. If you own something in your portfolio that maybe has something to do with that, we could actually start giving you like warnings and saying, hey, by the way, did you know this news might impact this holding that you have? And kind of give you suggestions.
That'd be
Obviously, yeah, not giving you investment advice because we can't give investment advice, but it can kind of give you some ideas, right? And then you can actually execute them if you want, you know? So. Yeah, so all this grand vision is finally starting to come into fruition. It's taken quite a while for us to get to this point, and it's really nice seeing it actually work